We will, this day of your time in this transmission, provide you with a couple of different permission slip meditations, permission slip exercises to aid and assist you in playing with this energy and opening up these gates in a new and different way and creating new perspectives within your consciousness that we, shall we say, ought to bring a little bit more fun in your lives. We will get to that in a few moments. The idea, however, is that, again, as has already again been mentioned, in our ancient language, which we no longer use, the word Eli represents the idea of the mirror, of the reflection, and is actually structured as such, spelled in your language as I-L-L-I. The idea thus being that as you begin to realize that everything is a reflection, as you begin to concretize this concept within your consciousness, more and more your perceptions of physical reality will begin to change. You'll begin to truly experience many things in a reflective way as other versions, other aspects of yourself, of your own consciousness, as true reflections, giving you feedback in a variety of specific vibratory ways to the things that are going on within your personality structure, your belief systems, your emotions, your thought patterns, your behaviors. As you begin to see physical reality as a reflection, it will start to resonate in different ways within the personality structure of your beliefs, of your emotions, of your thoughts and behaviors. And as it resonates, as it vibrates, those components of the personality structure, it will bring to the forefront in a more obvious way, in a more apparent way, in a clearer way, anything within your vibration that is not the frequency that you prefer, bringing it to the forefront of your consciousness from the unconscious mind, and allowing you more opportunity to deal with it, to integrate it, to blend with it, to allow it to transform in ways that will allow that energy to be part of, to join the rest of the energy within your being that is more representative of becoming more of your true self and creating a more reflective reality of that true self. There are many ways that this idea has been described, has been experienced from time to time in your reality. This idea of the 1111 has been experienced vibrationally in many different ways. Energetically, electromagnetically, physically, acoustically, musically, in a variety of ways has this been experienced throughout your history by individuals who understand its resonant power to reflect and amplify a particular and specific vibration that is representative of opening up to new dimensions of experience. The willingness. Look at the middle of the word. Willing. I-L-L-I, the willingness to open up to new reflections. There are no accidents in the structure of your language in this way. Everything is an orchestration of consciousness. And as you express this willingness to open up, more and more of this vibration will seep in to your being. More and more of this signature frequency will leak out of your being, resonate into the world, into the reflection, and bounce back in many different forms, in many different ways that give you more of an opportunity to understand and recognize who you truly are and to fine-tune and design who you truly wish to be. Now, the idea also is that the 11s are parallel lines, and this is also a reflection of the idea of shifting from parallel reality to parallel reality. The idea, as we have explained it a few times already, is that you are already shifting from parallel Earth to parallel Earth billions, literally billions of times per second, so smoothly you don't even know you're doing it. So the idea is that you don't have to learn to shift. The idea is that you simply need to awaken to the vibration that you prefer so that you guide yourself in these shifts that go on automatically within you, from world to world, parallel reality to parallel reality, in such a manner as to allow for a sequence of experiences of different parallel realities that are more in the direction, more in the reflective direction you prefer to experience your world to be. But remember, each and every distinct parallel reality has no change within it. change, what you call any kind of change itself, is the experience of shifting from one static parallel reality to another, like jumping from one frame of film to another. Each frame has no motion, but the next frame is a little different, and the next a little different, and the next a little different. So that as you move the light of the projector through the frames, or move the frames in front of the projector light, you are thus then, like your consciousness, beaming a sequence of parallel realities into your consciousness, flowing through them or allowing them to flow through you in such a manner as to create the effect and the illusion, the sensation and the experience you call movement and change. But you never actually change any particular reality. You only change yourself. But as you change yourself, you have the experience of transformation, the experience of change going on within your consciousness. So, focusing on the idea of the 11-11-11 vibration as a way of connecting to parallel lines, parallel world, parallel realities, more strongly, more concretely, with that resonant frequency, you can thus use it as a guide, as a wave guide, in a sense, of parallel lines that will vibrate at a certain pitch that will represent the hallway you actually prefer to move down, to move through. And thus then, by instilling and infusing that particular pitch, that particular resonance in that waveguide hallway, in that channel, in that conduit, you can thus then allow yourself to be carried on that wave, effortlessly, joyfully down that hallway, down that tube, down that conduit, so that you will not have to expend the idea of pain and strife and struggle, but can experience challenges in an exciting and joyful way. There are any number of ways that this idea of 11-11-11 are being expressed and experienced in the apparent changes now going on, in the shifting that is going on from parallel world to parallel world in your reality experience. There are many different shifts going on, as you know, and one of the strongest ones you are seeing on your planet is the idea of individuals expressing, finally, after many thousands of years, expressing the notion of self-empowerment, of not handing your power and giving your power away, but taking it back, standing tall in a sense, having a voice in a sense, and expressing your truth in a sense about what you believe is important as a representation of the kind of world, the kind of political, the kind of social, the kind of religious, the kind of ideas you wish to experience in your world. And thus then you are seeing on your planet many demonstrations of individuals expressing the idea that it is time to shift the power base from the few to the many, so that you can thus then be self-empowered individuals, and thus by being fully self-empowered individuals work harmoniously together with other self-empowered individuals, because when everyone is truly the fullest individual they can be, that's when you get true unity and harmony on your planet. It is not the idea of becoming homogeneous that creates unity. It is the idea of truly being the unique individual you were created to be. Thus then, by being that individual fully, you contain the vibratory frequencies, you contain the inspirations, you contain the imaginings necessary to allow you to see how it is that your place fits, that your piece fits automatically with every other piece also being their true selves. Just like all the puzzle pieces in the big picture are made to fit together to make the big picture. If you try to be a shape you're not, you won't fit. But if you are the shape you were created to be, you fit with all the other pieces beautifully and create the big picture that supports all of you. So you create the big picture, and the big picture creates the pieces. They support each other in a synergistic way. And again, this is another symbol and expression of the idea of these parallel lines, because not only do they function this way, they function this way. As above, so below. The idea that we will be expressing in tomorrow night's transmission of the 9 levels of consciousness will explain in great detail the idea of how all these levels, these parallel levels of consciousness that you have created yourself to be, work in conjunction with one another, how they relate to one another, how they exchange energy with one another in such a fashion as to connect you to all that is, while at the same time connecting you to the experience and grounding you to the experience you call physical reality. We will explain very clearly how to use all these levels in parallel in such a manner as to gain great effectiveness with all the other tools we have also shared with you over time. But now the idea right now that is going on your planet is again expressed in many different codes, in many different forms, in many different ways, even unto the idea of certain ancient texts that you have. It is expressed in this way as a precursor to the vibration that many individuals knew was to come. Even though there have been to some degree misinterpretations of many of your ancient texts, the ideas can be clearly seen for when certain events actually happen in your world. You can see exactly how they correspond, how they line up, how they parallel certain comments, certain sayings, certain paragraphs in some of your ancient